So yo, what's good people? It's Cactus, and this is the first episode of the Cactus Convos. So I wanted this series to be like a bit of an interview and conversations with up-and-coming artists and producers. So for the first episode, I've got my boy Alystr Nash here. What's good, Nash?
Hello.
So for those who don't know, Alystr's been one of my boys for like how many years now? Maybe 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
Too long, man.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we met through making music. So I wanted to hear more about Alystr's story so far and what got him into music. So if we go right back to the start, how did you even get into music? Because I know you played instruments first. So what age did you start? How did you get into playing instruments?
It's hard. It's even hard to like figure out what age I started. So I started when I was young. I think I was about, my rough guess would be about 12. And obviously, I started in church, innit? Like that's where I started being a musician in church and stuff. So I make music, the way I perform music now is an influence from that. Do you know what I mean? So just being around that environment and being around people like that, do you know what I mean? Obviously inspired me, and seeing that from a young age obviously inspired me to get into music. So
did you have a teacher at the time, like someone that was teaching you piano, or were you just self-taught? Or?
My mom kind of like sent me to she sent me to like music school. Obviously she saw that I had like an interest in it.
Yeah.
So she then obviously sent me to music school just to have like a few lessons and stuff. But obviously it all boils down to if you really want to like, you know, pursue music. So you find, and as I said before, being around like the circle of the environment, obviously like-minded pairs, these musicians. When I was young, I got in a group. They were called a New Generation. Well, that's what we were called, and they were obviously the same age as me. So I think I was like in my late, like say probably about 18, that type of age. I obviously got in this group. So we weren't that really professional, but over the years and playing together, do you know what I mean? Like we got more advanced, and obviously that's where it all came from.
So what genre was that when you were in the group?
That's what, more gospel. Like obviously it's mainly Caribbean influence. So you have like reggae, that type of stuff, and obviously gospel and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously that Caribbean type of vibe, anyways. Do you know what I mean? So that's the foundation of my music, in it. Like gospel music is my foundation.
You can kind of hear that in the productions that you make now as well. Obviously, it's not gospel music, but you can hear how it's translated into what you're producing now. You know, it's always uplifting music that you make, really, isn't it? More than anything.
That's it. So that's where it all started for me, bro.
So you were in that group, obviously at first it was more performance. So how did you get into actually producing? Like, what made you transition from performance to production?
Well, I don't know. Like when I was young and I was being in music, I used to like, obviously performing. You keep to a standard, in like when you're performing, you rehearse, and then you keep to certain things that you rehearse in it. Like obviously you're performing in live on a stage. But sometimes when I'm listening to the music, I always hear things in my head that I should play. Like, I mean, how things should work out. I even like listen to like certain records and stuff. It always plays up in my head. Oh, if they played it that way, the song that type of way in it, and that I always kept that in the back of my mind, anyways. And then obviously from leaving from the Caribbean and coming to UK, I then went to study audio engineering, and then obviously that's why. And my reason for doing that, I'll explain that a bit. You know what I mean? Obviously, I really wanted to get into music production, but I wanted to like know like the things that happens in the background, like learning about sound and waveforms, and you know what I mean, these things that happen in the background and stuff. So I went that and I've done that. So whilst doing that, obviously, in terms of production now, I went full on into that and started making music in a sense that way. So I started on the foundation of gospel, then I went into obviously audio engineering and learning that, and then I have the full scope of knowledge of everything, and I could make music that way. And that's the road I took, anyways. I mean, so
I imagine like when you can play an instrument, well, you can play like quite a few instruments, but I imagine that makes production 10 times easier. So I was going to ask you, like, what do you think about? Because I know a lot of producers that are quite successful, which, you know, they can't even play any instruments. They understand a bit of the theory, but, you know, when you're using a software like FL or any DAW, you can usually just set the scale and key things in, and it kind of makes it easier for you. But do you think it's important that producers actually play an instrument or know how to play one in order for them to produce, or do you think it doesn't matter, or they just need a bit of theory?
I don't think, well, music is an expression, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you see any form of music, like just when you go outside and you hear the breeze blow, that's music in a sense, you know what I mean? It's just an expression, you know what I mean? So everything you hear around you is just musical. That's the way I think anyways. I might be wrong. But
everything's got a pitch, doesn't it?
Yeah. So everything is just musical. So I don't think, obviously, it's not good for me to say, obviously, you have to have a musical background. You need to be able to obviously read music, or you need to be able to obviously play an instrument you have an advantage over certain things. It's just the way you translate and you express yourself musically. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, you know what I mean? Because some of these, obviously, producers and stuff, like, they pick their laptop up and they make music that way. The laptop, in a sense, becomes an instrument for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they might not be as musically inclined like certain people. They might not be able to read music or might not be able to play a guitar. But in a sense, like, whatever machine they're using that to make music in it. So that's, in a sense, is an instrument, I think. You know what I mean? Now, you have, like, in my sense, obviously, I can play certain instruments. Like, obviously, my first instrument I played was the keys, and that's my foundation. Like, any other instrument I've learned being around people and being around that environment in it. But in my sense, I pick up a guitar or a keyboard or a piano. Now, I play that. That's just an extra instrument on the side. Now, I got my DAW. That's an instrument in itself. You know what I mean? That's the whole machine there is controlling everything. So all these instruments are going into that in it, like, do you know what I mean? And that's the hub, and that's, in a sense, is an instrument, because it's taking these other instruments and making things make sense in it. So it's hard to say, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think, obviously, just music, in a sense, it's all over you. You know what I mean? It's just an expression in it. That's the way I think, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd say that when I started producing, I didn't really know too much about music theory. And then once I actually took the time to learn music theory, like, I took piano lessons for a bit over a year, maybe close to 2 years. It was only like 1 hour a week. But even that little bit of music theory knowledge helped so much with production. Like, once I had that knowledge, I could up my level, like, straight away. But I guess you're right. I guess you don't, like, have to be able to play an instrument. Like, I can't sit down and just play something on piano, but I understand, like, scales and understand how to form chords and things like that, and that's definitely helped with production. But I think you're right.
Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's good to have the knowledge of background of playing an instrument. You know what I mean? Because, for instance, let's say, like, a scenario. Okay, you walk into you're working with an artist you never worked before. He's a singer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as a producer, you need to be able to, like, bounce ideas from each other. You play an instrument, a person picks and starts singing, like, a melody to you. Yeah. Now, this is where me as a musician will have an advantage over certain producers in a way, because a person might start singing, yeah, and because of my knowledge of music and I can play by ear and I can pick certain stuff. Do you know what I mean? I can walk in a situation and say, okay, but she's singing in E flat or C sharp, and then I work with that and I start arranging chord progressions around that. That comes over years of obviously practicing and being around music in it. Now, that's an advantage I might have over certain producers in that realm, in that atmosphere, in that environment. Do you know what I mean? I might have a certain advantage of that, but that doesn't say I'm a better producer in any shape, way, or form than a person who picks up a laptop, and starts making music. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make me better than the person in it. Do you know what I mean?
I think that would just benefit you in different scenarios. Like you said, if you're in the studio with someone and someone's singing, you know, like, what key they're singing in. Like that's big, that, because not a lot of people can do that. But I think that's like one of the differences between a beat maker and a producer in a way, because you know, like you have like beat makers who like just make beats, like bedroom producers. So they're just making beats all day. But then someone like you're big on actually getting into the studio, aren't you, and working closely with the artist and coming up with things from scratch. Like when I see you work, it's not like you're coming into the studio and saying, yo, I've got these 10 beats, see what you can do to them or do with them. You're more like, right, you want to test the vibe with the artist, and then just form everything on the day. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, that's it. Like you obviously go to studio. I won't even go to a studio unless I have things concrete. As I mentioned to you before, innit? Like even before getting to the studio, it's always like obviously this artist I work with, Ganaja, like me and him, like some of the songs I brought out, even with SP as well. Some of the stuff, like we obviously vibe a bit in it, like, and I'll be in the keyboard, I'll be coming up with melodies, and then I'll be shaping certain things around them, and or someone might start singing something, and then I start picking up on the keys, like starting certain melody, and she start off with this note, then I catch what she's saying or he is saying, and then I start playing, and from then you start building, stacking stuff like that in it. I mean, that's another form of working. Like, it's just another way. It's not just it's not specifically like the way you should go in it. Like, I mean, because sometimes I've done in occasions, like I've obviously made the beat and gave it to someone, and someone is inspired from that and write to something in it. You know what I mean? It's, which way you're gonna approach it? It depends on how you feel that day. You know what I mean? And what situation presents itself. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Yeah, I feel like I feel like either way you can get a good outcome, but some of the best songs are made when like the artist and the producer are working closely together, and it's done organically rather than the producer just making a beat, sending it across, and then he writes to it. But you are right. I think either way you can get good outcomes. 100%.
I like working the way, obviously, one-on-one. That's the way I like to work anyways. I prefer working that way. I feel like obviously music is very personal, and then if you can share that whatever thing you're trying to get across, or the message, or that emotion that you're trying to get across with you, if you gel with that person that way, you have a better outcome in it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're on the same wavelength. You bounce ideas off each other, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, man. So what artists are you working with right now? I know you mentioned Gananja. I think Esprit is one that you're working with as well. I know you're working with quite a few at the moment. So what have you released recently, and what projects you got coming?
So one of the artists I started to work with initially, like properly, like was Gananja and Esprit in it.
Yeah.
So obviously these guys are like Afro Dancehall type of vibe in it. So, and when you think obviously Afrobeat in it, I've never really like, I wasn't really an Afrobeat producer in a way. I mean, I don't think I am anyways. You know what I mean? But then again, when it comes to that, I had to adapt myself to that artist. That's what I'm saying. Because he's an Afrobeat kind of guy in it, yeah. And obviously, I'm from a gospel background. I know that for a fact because the way I play keys and obviously and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to like step back as a producer and say, how I'm going to execute this. So I had to like go back and then start listening to like, I've been listening to Afrobeats even before I met him. So I started trying to get into that environment and in that space of mine and see what what kind of sound he likes in it. Do you know what I mean? So he came over and we start making a few things and start like whipping up a few things in it. You know what I mean? And then it just went from there. Same with SP as well. He's from a dancehall background. So I had to then again change. It's not kind of, he's SP. I'm going to send him Afrobeat kind of or hip hop kind of. He's not going to vibe to that in it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So I had to obviously formulate a way of obviously molding the sound around him on the chord progression that I use. Do you know what I mean? For him in it, and the way he sings, his notes, his tone of voice, all these things you got to take into consideration when making music.
Yeah, because the voice is an instrument in itself, isn't it? Like a lot of people forget that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like even sending someone a beat, you send like a singer a beat. Like, I like using this like singers in it because they sing. They use notes in it.
Yeah.
So sending a singing a beat, it might not be the right key for that singer. Might not be in the right key. So you said that's why I don't like making music that way. Don't get me wrong, I do sometimes, but sending you need to know the artist itself and the artist key range in it. Like, what's the highest key they can sing in? What's the lowest they can sing in? What's comfortable for them? And you start making music around that in it. Do you know what I mean? That way.
That's it. Because I'm guilty of it sometimes. I'm guilty of overproducing. You know, when you're making a beat and you just keep adding things to it, and then you'll hear a melody in your head and you keep adding that melody, but then that melody that you're hearing in your head could be vocals. Do you know what I'm saying? So you might be thinking, you could add a piano here, but really that melody could be a vocalist, a singer. So sometimes it's better to just leave that space out, isn't it, until you get a vocalist on there, like a singer or a rapper. And then if you need to add more to the beat, you can do it that way, rather than just overproducing it from the start. Do you know what I'm saying? Because then sometimes when you send productions to artists and there's too much going on, it's a bit overwhelming, and it's like, well, there's no room for me to breathe on here. So, you know.
Yeah. That's true as well. And I've learned that over the years as well, because obviously, let me just mention this as well. Like, obviously, I'm from a live background. I'm playing live. I'm used to that anyway, being on stage and performing like whatever with a band, whatever.
Yeah.
Then coming, it was hard for me to like the transition from playing live and then producing, because I still have that live mentality in it. Like, you go on stage and you're there jamming out, whatever, certain licks in it. But then with production, you can't really do that. Like, you got, as he's mentioned before, you got to leave room for like an artist and stuff, like, you know what I mean? And select certain songs in it, do you know what I mean? So an artist can be inspired and have space so they can do their thing in it. And I learned that over the years, because when I started producing, I had stuff, anything I could dash in a track, I was dashing in there. Like, it was, you know what I mean? It was wrong in it.
I hear that. So that's kind of leading me on to my next question, because you mentioned that when you're working with artists, you want to listen to that style of music. So if you're making like dancehall, then you'll listen to a lot of dancehall music before you produce them kind of tracks. So I'm guessing that's one way of finding inspiration, just by listening to music in general. So how else do you find inspiration? Like, what gets you inspired to make music?
I don't know, just life in general, bro.
Just for the love of it.
Yeah. I just get up in the morning and it just like, as I said before, music and expression, isn't it? Like, and it's just how you feel on the day. You never know what the outcome is gonna be, in it. Like, so you just start. Do you know what I mean? Like, that way.
Yeah.
That's the question you're trying to like ask. I don't know, but obviously that's what I was saying.
Because you got to be feeling the vibe, don't you? Like, there's nothing worse than forcing it. Like, sometimes, obviously, like, we love making music, but there are days where you just want to sit back and take a break from it. But sometimes you get in the mind state where you're like, I need to keep working, and then once you get in that zone where you're like, right, I need to force something out today, then hardly anything comes good from that. Do you know what I mean? Because you're forcing it and you're not really feeling it on the day. Do you ever get that feeling?
It's hard. I don't think anyone should force making music, man. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't. That's personally me saying, just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should like force, because if you force something, it's not going to turn out good. You know what I mean? Like, if you force to like rush to make your bed, it's not going to look good, is it? You know what I mean? If you're forced to cook something, you know what I mean? If you're forced to make a meal, it's just going to taste not that great.
Yeah.
So the same applies to music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have you want to make music and then the inspiration is not coming in, let's just step away from it. Go and do something else. You know what I mean? Go sweep the yard or something. Like, do something else. Do you know what I mean? And then come back to it again. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, I think it's good just to clear your mind in general, isn't it? Like, especially bedroom producers that just sit in the room all day making like 5 beats a day. I know certain people that do that. They're just literally on the computer all day, every day, making 5 beats, don't really speak to many people, don't go out, they don't exercise, don't really look after themselves. But I think it all kind of comes together in a way. Like, you need to look after your mental health, your physical health, everything.
All these things plays a part. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't neglect. I know obviously making music is one thing, but you can't neglect everything else, man. Everything has a balance in it. Like, so when it comes, as you mentioned before, when it comes down to mental health, you got to take care of that. physical health, your physical well-being as well. You got to think, even his spiritual well-being as well. You got to take care of that, bro. Like everything. Do you know what I mean? Your relationship with other people, you got to balance that as well. You know what I mean? It might be hard, but you just need to. The best thing you can do is manage your time. That's the most important thing. If you manage your time, you won't be stressed in it properly.
That's right. So what do you do to manage your time at the moment? Do you use like calendar apps?
I use all that stuff, bro. Like if you look at my calendar right now, like I have a certain time to do certain things. And if I don't, I have certain things planned and things might not work out the way, you know what I mean? You get annoyed in it, but everything's happened for a reason anyways, you know what I mean? So to answer that question, yes, I do use calendars. And I do use certain apps to obviously plan stuff in, and obviously certain tasks or deadlines I need to meet. You know what I mean? Even if a deadline is not required, I do initiate deadlines for myself. Just you know what I mean? Because everything, if you look at the world today, everything is run by time, bro. Like time is the most valuable thing on this planet right now. Yeah,
it's the only thing you can't get back. You can't get no time back.
You know what I mean? And we haven't got long on this planet, bro. Like soon as so right now, I ain't got time to waste on like no one like shopping. I just if you're not active, like I ain't got time for you, man.
Yeah.
But myself, you know what I mean?
I hear that definitely.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about as well was like industry producing versus online producing, because a lot of people that aren't into music, they don't think about the online production game as well. It's only until you start producing that you start seeing that there's actually a whole different lane for online beat making. Like, because when I told people I wanted to be a producer, everyone's just like, "Oh, you want to be Dr. Dre?" Do you know what I mean? They just say some comment like that, like my dreams aren't achievable. But there's so many different ways you can make money through music. I'm not saying it's all about making money, but I feel like there's definitely two complete separate paths when you can either go like the industry route, or you can go the online route, or you can kind of merge them both together. But would you say you're heading more towards the industry route where you want to get big placements, you want to be in the studio with artists, or are you more focused on just doing everything online, trying to sell beats through your beat store? I'm guessing it's the industry route, or is it a combination of them both right now?
My personal goal is obviously to make. I think I'm more of an artist development kind of like the way I work with people. Like I try to develop an artist in it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not even for me. I wouldn't say I have like an industry kind of anyone that I'm working with. Do you know what I mean? Anyone that I'm working with presently, if someone came to me and said, "Listen, I want us to work together," I would say, "Okay." And then we start working. We came to the decision that we're working together. First thing, my primary initial goal is to make you better than the way that you were previously before. From you from us start seeing results from like that in that way, then I count that as a success in it. Automatically, if something is good, people are gonna buy into it. Do you know what I mean? Industry is gonna buy into it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you say industry route, obviously saying that, industry will buy into that, and obviously other people is gonna buy into that. So you said online route, obviously people are gonna buy into that because you start creating value for all these other people. Like so the most important thing is creating value. That's it for everything.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think there's personally I don't think there's an industry route or online present. All of them are the same thing in my head. That's my personal opinion. They're all the same thing. You're all creating value. Do you know what I mean? And the industry over here and online presence over there is the same thing. They're coming to you for that in it, for whatever value you have. So the most important thing as a producer you should focus on, is creating value for whoever you're working with, for even for the world. Like, do you know what I mean? The music is not yours. It's not yours. It's whatever gift you have in life is not yours, in it. It's for the world, and that's why some people find you find some people being selfish, like and stuff like that, because they think whatever gift they have or whatever stuff they're good at is just for them. It's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not for you. Like even with like if you look at Steve Jobs, he had this idea. Like he had this idea. He had this idea, and the gift he had obviously with making Apple products and stuff, and his vision. It was not for him. It was for the world. Do you know what I mean?
It's
So
true.
he manifested this gift in such a way, and then obviously put it out there for the world. And now we're reaping the benefit. And then from that, he created value in such a way that he reaps the reward from that. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way you got to think. The first initial thing you need to think about, obviously, how can I make this whoever I'm working with better? How can I make the person I'm working with better than they were before? So you creating value for them, and you pleasing them in it. And then from wherever that thing start to manifest itself, then you start getting attraction from everywhere else in it. Like that's I think about this stuff all day, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
I hear that. It's kind of like the law of attraction in a way, isn't it? Not where you're like, if you think about something, you're going to get it. But I'm a believer in if you're putting positive energy out there, you're going to get that energy back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is kind of like the law of attraction. So I'm a believer in that. But yeah, I know what you're saying 100%.
Yeah, so like online route, industry route, yeah, my way is all the same thing. None is better than none. Yeah. You're producer at the end of the day, yeah, and you as a producer, you should be able to create value for whoever you're working with. And I mean that's it. Doesn't matter if you make beats, you smashed out like eight beats a day or a week or whatever, and you put it online for sales and stuff. It doesn't matter. Once whoever is buying into that, your customers, you create value for them, so that's good. You know what I mean? If you want to obviously work with someone in the industry, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You want to attract people like who's actually, we're all in the industry anyway. Once you make music, we're in the industry. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think the main difference with, what I was getting at is like when people think of the music industry, like the industry side of it, they think of like record labels and things like that. But then the online side, I'm more on about like being an independent producer and, just having your beat store, trying to sell beats online. I feel like there are kind of two different lanes, but they all kind of merge together in the same industry in a way, if that makes sense. Because I see a lot of people like trying the online game where the only tactic is to upload beats to YouTube, leave them on the beat store page and hope that someone buys them. They're not really trying to work with any artists directly. They're not like trying to network with people. They just want to make beats, upload them and hope for the best. But I feel like you need to be trying different methods really. Like I feel like if you're going to be a producer, you need to try work with up and coming artists as much as possible and not just trying to chase like the biggest artists out there who have already got huge producers, and at the same time not just trying to upload beats online and just hope that someone finds them. You know what I'm saying?
If that's the case, man, like I think you're not doing it for the love of the music, man. Like it's got to be for that, innit? Like don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing anyone who does that online, you know what I'm saying? I do that as well. You know what I mean? It's not like I do put music online. But then you have to have, because we're all humans and we need connection with people. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So once two people meet together, like two people put their heads together, it's always going to be a better outcome in certain ways.
I feel like what you said earlier as well, when you're mentioning like a personal brand as well, I feel like that's what it all boils down to, like whether you're just selling beats online or whether you're trying to network with people, like either way, it's like building your personal brand, isn't it? Because if you're trying to work with people, then the more that you build your brand, the more people are going to recognize you and think, like this guy is probably worth working with. And then the same with online as well. It's like running a personal business, isn't it? At the end of the day, you need to develop that brand, whichever direction you're taking.
But right now, I think everything is really online. Like even though in an industry type point of view, I know you keep saying industry in it. I think everything right now, with the era we're in right now, everything is like basically online. So let's say if someone approach and you say industry, the term industry, saying industry it boils down to someone contacting you and say they want to work with you or they want to buy whatever you have. It's the same thing. Like, so it's all boils down to like just one thing, online presence. So even whether you say industry or you work with a group, a choir over there, or you work one person, do you know what I mean? You are the center of, as a producer, you are the center of whatever, do you know what I mean? You're there. and everyone's coming to you for this thing that you got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what form or way you distribute that thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You just need to do your thing, innit? Like, give value to obviously these people who, do you know what I mean? Make them better. Not whatever gift you've got of music is not for you. Isn't that's some of these producers are, it's not for you, man. It's not. It's for other people. It's for you. Like that gift that is for other people, innit?
So at the end of the day, it's other people that are going to be listening to it and enjoying that music and catching certain feelings from it. And they're the people that are going to eventually become your fans. So yeah, you're right. It is for other people as much as it's for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what kind of techniques are you using right now for marketing? Like, do you do any paid ads? Is it more like, do you reach out to like playlists and try anything like that, or radios? Have you got certain techniques that you use?
When you say obviously because I literally just started like obviously making beats.
Yeah.
I hate using the word, but making music,
producing.
Making the music and putting online. Like, so what I've been doing, obviously, sometimes I do some Instagram ads, Facebook ads and stuff like that. I'm still in the learning process, obviously trying to master that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I can't have much to say about that at this very moment, but obviously I'm still in a way of obviously trying to understand the strategy behind obviously utilizing those platforms properly, obviously to obviously gain whatever I'm trying to obviously achieve in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you haven't really like spent the time like investing in like certain ads before. It's just more like you just making music for the love of it. Obviously you've got it on like Spotify, Apple Music and everything, sharing it on social media, but I haven't really gone deeper into like targeting ads and collecting email lists and things like that.
Yeah, so like I haven't really fully gone into that. As I said before, I just started to put music on. Put like on like obviously these musical platform in terms of selling beats that way. So in terms of that, I just started to do that, and so I won't have like an exact advice or, do you know what I mean? I'm still in a learning process.
Yeah, of course. There's a couple of books that I'd recommend though, because I've been getting more and more into the marketing side. Because whenever we speak, we always say it as well. Like obviously, music's like one portion of it, but the marketing side is a huge portion of it, because you can make the music, but to get that out to people is like a whole other thing. You can post it on social media, like on Instagram, but that might only reach like a certain percentage of your audience. So it's like, right, how do I get this music out to people? Because there's so many different ways you can use, and I don't know, like some people, like some videos might go viral. You know, I always use the Lil Nas X thing as well, like his track with, I forgot what the producer's called now, but I think that went viral on TikTok, didn't it? And it slowly built up, and it started going crazy. But stories like that only happen every now and again. So I feel like, you know, as producers and musicians, we need to work on other ways to market our music as well, instead of just making it and just putting it on Instagram and just hoping for the best. But a couple of things that I'd recommend when you're getting into like the marketing side. This book's good, you know, like .com Secrets. I think I mentioned that to you before. It's Russell Brunson. He's like a genius when it comes to marketing, like sales funnels and everything. So he's worth a read. And then he's just released a new book called Traffic Secrets, which I haven't finished that yet. I'm just getting through it. But that's all about kind of like how to network with people. You know, like even on like Instagram, when you're trying to chat with people, it's like, if you think about Instagram as almost like a big meeting, like say if you went to a networking event, like a physical event where you're talking to people, you're not just going to go up to people and say, yo, check out my new song, or yo, my new single's out. Do you know what I mean? But you see people doing that on Instagram, where they're just spamming your inbox with like, yo, check out my SoundCloud, yo, check out this. But you need to be developing relationships with people, and that just doesn't come instantly. To me, it's like that happens over the course of like a good period of time. Like your first conversation with someone might just be not even music related. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just chat to someone, like even on social media, you know, everyone's human beings. Like a good way to develop relationships is just by talking, like you would if you met in general. Or if it's going to be about music, then let's say there's an artist that you want to work with and they've posted something up and you're feeling the music, just message them and be like, you know, I'm really feeling that latest single that you did, blah, blah, blah.
You know what, and I kind of I do that. Like, now that you mentioned that, I kind of do that because I might see certain things on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. An artist I've never seen before. I've done that in numerous amount of occasions and stuff. Like an artist I've never spoke to before, even seen before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they put up some type of stuff on Instagram, or they dropped out the single or something, and I'll be like, yo, and you'd feel it, and you'd message us, yo, this is great, man. Like, just connect that way in it. You know what I mean?
That's it. It feels good to give that positive energy out as well. Like, when you make music and if someone messages you saying, yo, that new single that you released is fire, like, it feels good, doesn't it? It's like, the music that I've made is, you know, people are liking it. So it's a good feeling to have. So I feel like, you know, if we want that energy back, we should be giving that energy out. But yeah, I just think that's a good way to just start conversations. It don't always have to be like, yo, bro, let's work. Like, yo, bro, check out my music. Just be natural. Talk to people as if you talk to them when you meet them the first time. And then it might take time, it might take months, but at some point you might end up working with that person. But I feel like too many people are trying to force it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are, man. Like I think everything is at a fast pace now, so everybody wants to get rich quick, innit? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not.
Everyone's impatient.
It takes time, man. Like, obviously with me and stuff, like whatever the position I'm at today in terms of music, do you know what I mean? It didn't automatically come in it. Like, do you know what I mean? I had to like go through certain processes. Like, I mean, it's like a tree. Like, you know what I mean? A tree doesn't become a tree like straight away. It starts with a seed in it. You plant the seed and you go water it every day. Like, you know what I mean? Same with your gift in it. Like the gift you got of music, like obviously you make music now, you got to take time off now to manifest that gift in it. Yeah. And that's what you need to do. Like with your gift you got now, you make it music. You need to water that gift every day. So you need to spend time, whatever you're doing now, all this marketing strategy, and spend time making music, networking with people. All that's, you know what I mean, putting water at your roots at your tree in it. And then
it's little bits at a time, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when your tree becomes ready, you know what I mean, start bearing fruits in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then some people start seeing the fruit now from your tree, and they're attracted to that tree now, innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's the point that when you start creating value. So you come to that tree and your tree start growing fruits. People they don't like you, bro. It's not like people like you. Like they like
no one wants to work
tree.
with a tree stump, do they?
Yeah.
Everyone wants the fruit.
That's what I'm saying. It's not you. Is the gift in it? Like it's not you in it. Like it's what's coming from that from that tree in it. Like what? So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not about you. Do you know what I mean? So it's about what you can give to these people. So you need to spend time out now to manifest whatever gift you've got, and so that the people can enjoy it. Like whoever you're offering it to can enjoy it.
That's right.
So, I keep going back to that, but yeah, it's fine.
No, it's a good analogy that you made, though. It's a good analogy. So yeah, my last question would be, would you have any advice to anyone that wanted to get into production? You know, like they might not have any musical knowledge, they're just really attracted to the production side of things, or just music in general. Like, where would you say for them to start? Would you say maybe just study the game first? Would you maybe say at least learn a bit of theory, or just dive straight in and just give it a go and see what happens and just watch tutorials, things like that?
First thing I say, don't do it because someone else is doing it. Yeah, don't do it because it looks glamorous. Oh, it's that. Oh, I like the way this person does that. Don't. For me, doing that, that's not the right thing for you. It's not.
Yeah.
When that's in your psyche, it's not. Like, just think about something else, because that's the wrong intention in a sense. Now, after that, you need to love it. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. After that, you need to love it, and because there's gonna be times, when you start doing it, that you're gonna get frustrated, and you're gonna feel like giving up. Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Yeah. We were saying like music in general, we're emotional people, and some days when things are going well, like if you're a rapper and you know you're flowing nicely, if you're a producer and you're just finding the right melodies easy, then you feel good. It's a blessing. But then you have days where you've got like writer's block or beat block and you can't come up with anything, and then it's frustrating, it's stressful. So there's definitely ups and downs, isn't there?
Yeah. So you gotta love it. So yeah, obviously you're gonna have days that like you're gonna get frustrated and you want to give up in it.
Mm.
But then because initially that initial love that you obviously manifested that thing within you that you really deep down really want to do this, you're always gonna go back to that moment in it. Subconsciously, you're gonna go back to there, and that's gonna enable to push you forward to obviously go through those barriers. Like I even like for me, like when I just started playing the keys in it, like the piano, right?
Yeah.
It was not a smooth sailing, like because the minute you start playing, like your fingers start hurting you, and in your mind you say, "Oh, this is horrible." Like, I mean, you're adapting yourself to doing certain things and making certain licks and stuff like that. And they have days that you feel like giving up in it, but then you go back, subconsciously you go back and say, "Oh, I really want to do this," because do you know what I mean? Like, it's something I feel like I'm within my heart I should do. Like, do you know what I mean? And that when you go back, that's gonna push you, motivate you to push past that in it, and then when everything starts getting comfortable. But then you're gonna go up in stages all the time. They're gonna meet obstacles all the time until you get better in it, till you get to that fruit. Till you get to that fruit, bro, and then.
I feel like that's what separates the people that are actually in it for the love to the people that are just in it, like you said, because they like the image or they think it's gonna make them money. Because the people that don't actually love it, once they get to that stage where they're getting stressed and they're doubting themselves, that's when they're going to give up. But then the people that love it will always come back to it, no matter what.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man. As long as you have the right intentions within your heart, do you know what I mean? Like, like when I started playing music, when I started making music, money didn't even come to mind. It's just something I wanted to do, so I just went. I didn't think of money and stuff at the end of it. Money is important, but it's not the most important thing on this planet, man. There's more things important than that, John. Money is just like this paper. That's it.
It's not even a real thing, is it?
Yeah.
It's not. It is like you said. It's just paper. It's not actually worth anything. We as humans just said that it's worth something.
Yeah. So there you go.
Worth anything.
You know what's worth something? What's inside you? That's worth something.
Yeah,
I mean. That gift that anyone, it's not just music, like wherever, if you an artist or, do you know what I mean, you're good at obviously speaking to people, you're good at obviously teaching people, all these are gifts. All these things are gifts, and then you need to take time to manifest those things so it can be useful to other people in it. It's not just because you hold on to your gift. What's it gonna do? It's not gonna do nothing. Say, for instance, I wake up in the morning and say, "Yo, I can make music. I'm the best musician in the world," and I just hold on to it like this. I'm not gonna give it to no one. I'm just gonna leave it there, you know. And I'm fill myself with all this like all this. I'm gonna keep it, right? You know what I mean? It's not gonna. You're just gonna die with that. That's it, bro. Like, you need to obviously manifest it and put it out there for people to enjoy it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true, man. Well, yo, Nash, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy and everything.
Man.
You got any plans today? Doing anything for the rest of the day?
I'm gonna chillax a bit. No, I'll probably make something to eat and stuff. But other than that, I'll be here just chilling, man. Today's one of my days. I'm just gonna sit back and not doing no music, nothing today. Just gonna
comes back to that same thing, innit? Like sometimes you need that rest to get your mind right, focus on other things.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it.
But yeah, it's the end of the first episode, man. I appreciate your time. So for anyone that's listening, go follow Nash. What's your IG? Is it just at Alystr Nash?
Alystr Nash on IG. Alystr Nash on everything.
On everything, yeah. So you're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that.
Yeah, so Alystr Nash. Yeah, that's it. ALYSTRNASH.
Yeah.
Forgot to spell my name there.
And any new music that people should be aware of that you're dropping?
Yes. So I got a new track with Ganaija coming out. I think it's next week sometime. But this track is the first track I did with him. It's the first time he come to my, obviously, and we pulled up at mine, and then we just were vibing and we came up with this. So this isn't more like an experiment, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's a really good track as well. The way I executed it, like, do you know what I mean? And the way we executed it, we just came for the melody straight away. And I started, he went back and did his thing in it. But yeah, so that's coming. I'm doing a few stuff with Esprit as well. He's coming up with an EP. So I got a few, like most of the tracks on there, if not all, it's produced by me. I've just dropped a track for myself. Dropped a track with Diamond as well, Big Diamond. Shout out to Big Diamond, man.
Yeah, man.
And VV, which is good. But that one was done in the studio, all live stuff. You know what I mean? It's called Play Me. And I think I'm on the process of doing another track for Big Diamond again, because he contacted me, and I'm kind of in the works of finish up a track for him. So you might be able to hear that soon. But other than that, I'm just keeping myself busy, man. That's it. Yeah, I'll keep you posted, innit? That's
it, man. Well, the full episode will be on YouTube, and then I'll have clips on Instagram as well. So, when them singles are out, let me know, and I'll post a link to everything in the description on both sites.
Yeah, no problems, man.
All right, man. Cool. I'm gonna end the episode. So, thanks for the first episode of the Cactus Convos. And I'll speak to you soon, bro.
Safe, yeah.